Mm-mm-mm-mm. Namaste, namaste. I know it's almost lunchtime. I'm not going to hold you long. I know somebody hit that brick wall right about now. You probably came into work around about 8. Had that breakfast taco before you came in. Looking at that clock, it's almost 11. You thinking about is it going to be lunch or is it going to be a nap? That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Yeah, if you're hitting that wall right about this time every day, just go on and type me in the comments. Just gonna put me in there, and I'll make sure to tap in with you. So real quick, you know, I too used to have low energy. You know, actually, I had a hard time staying up, and a lot of that was to do with what my routine was. You know, I didn't really have a morning routine. We're talking about 10 years ago. You know, I really didn't have a morning routine. So I was just kind of just waking up and doing like everybody else, going to eat, you know, going to Whataburger, getting the breakfast taco, the fry, the orange juice. You know, I was doing that same thing, and then going to work, you know, before 8:30, and around about 11. You know, I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna eat lunch or I'm gonna take a nap. You know, I might do both. You know, it depends on how fast I can get out this job and get to the car. You know, that was pretty much the life. So I know if that was me, I know there has to be some other people out there with the same thing, because we all are dealing with the same issues. You know, what are we picking to drink? You know, what are we picking to eat? And most of the time, it's the quickest thing that we can find, or the most convenient thing we can find. You know, for me, you know, is definitely was getting the Red Bulls. You know my story. You know, 3 Red Bulls a day. You know, every day except Sunday. You know, Sunday I think we might have drank maybe one. We might have drank one on Sunday, but we was definitely drinking 3 Red Bull every day. That's definitely a fact. With coffee, with coffee in the morning. You know, so that right there, um, that's a lot. That's a lot to put in your system. And then if you don't have a workout regimen, then you're really just recycling that, and you're gonna hit that wall. You know, your sugar's gonna go way up, your energy's gonna go up, and then all of a sudden you're just gonna just crash. You know, I know one of my tricks now that I'm retired, I can share them. one of my tricks was that bathroom trick. Everybody know about the bathroom trick, right? You know, that's when you act like you go to the bathroom, but you really going in there to take a nice little 5 minute nap, and you're acting like you're not asleep, but you're really sleeping. You got your head leaning against the stall because you're just so tired, right? That's I was there. I was there, and once again, it was the fuel that I was feeding myself, and it was also my hydration. So one of the things, reason why Juice Life exists, is because I had a problem, and that's the problem that we're talking about right now. Low energy, spikes in energy, wanting to take a nap. I had inflammation. You know, stomach was all jacked up. There was no consistency there. So because I had a problem, I went looking for a solution, and that solution was changing my hydration. I wasn't really eating too bad, but I wasn't eating as well as I'm eating now, right? So when I had to look at it, I was like, I can change my eating habits, but if I'm still drinking 3 Red Bull a day and I'm not intaking the right nutrients, the right vitamins, for my body to heal from the workout, I'm doing more harm than good, right? So that's why Juice Life exists. Juice Life exists not as a cleanse or a detox. Juice Life exists as a lifestyle juice because we're made of liquid. So we're going to end up drinking way more liquids in our lifetime than we'll consume solid food. Even though if you're eating 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, that's 21 meals, right? That's 21 meals. So in 2 weeks, you've had 42 meals. In a month, you've had 84 meals, right? That's a lot of food, right? That's a lot of food. So when you cut that back out of your system. You cut that down to half of that, and you change your hydration to something that's a little more beneficial. Then you'll start to see the benefits in that. You'll start to have more energy. You'll be able to power through that morning and make it to lunchtime, 12. If you're doing intermittent fasting and your last meal was at 7 or 8 o'clock and you wait to eat to 12, that's good. That's good. If you can cut that first meal out and replace it with, some fruit, some nuts, seeds. I like spinach leaves. Personally myself with some cut up strawberries. That's my go-to. If you got to have some extra fuel in the morning, but if you can wake up fasted and power through your morning that way, your body will find the energy. It'll find the fuel source that it needs to power through what you would normally push through with the caffeine, the C4s, the Red Bulls, and so on and so forth. So if you're tired of all of that, you're tired of that cycle, you're tired of hitting that brick wall, just tap in. Just hit me, in the comment. You can DM Transform, and we'll get you started today. Right now, what we're doing today, we're going to offer a starter pack, right? Starter pack is going to be 6 bottles for $50. And the goal with the 6 bottles is to give you enough to power you through the week, right? So if we can get you to make a couple healthy choices, just one healthy choice here and there throughout the week, and eliminate the guesswork, you're on your way to a better you. You can replace your liquids. You don't have to guess about what I'm going to drink today, what I'm going to drink tomorrow. We're giving it to you right here, 6 for $50. You get 6 bottles, $50, 12 ounce, all 5 flavors with an extra one, right? So that'll allow you to skip that meal in the morning. So if you want to just drink one in the morning, power through, eat a lunch, drink another one mid-afternoon, you'll see the results. You'll see the results in that. If you want to take that a little bit deeper, you can tap in and we'll give you a 3-day fasting guide. And that 3-day fasting guide, what that's guaranteed to do is to reset you totally, right? Is to give your body a total flat line, a total reset, So when you go back to eating, you go back to drinking what you were drinking, you can see what actually worked, what's actually hurting me. And you'll be able to eliminate that off your list, right? So that's what we're doing this week. We're doing a starter pack, 6 bottles, $50 with a 3-day fasting guide. You know, if that's something that you're interested in, you're ready to make that investment in yourself, you're tired of being tired, and you want to tap in to the better you want to transform, just hit the comments, hit the DM, and we'll get you started today. Thank you for your time. Have a great lunch.